Hello, today is Friday, September 25th, and man, have we accomplished a lot this week. I am so proud of all of those birds' nests that you guys have created, the ones that worked and the ones that didn't. They're all pretty darn amazing. Let me go ahead and start by pointing out a couple things. Every Friday, there will be an announcement that says Friday Recap. It'll give you a reminder to check your grades. And also it'll have a list of the most important assignments that we need you to get done this week. If you have not yet done your formative from yesterday, I have a lot of those missing. Please make sure you get that done by Sunday. If you have not made the bird nest so that you can do that formative, make sure you try and make a bird nest, even if it doesn't work. Get a picture of what you got and then do that evaluating the bird's nest. All right. I will also be putting video links to all of the classes that I record, especially classes that have notes attached. And this video will be you'll find it right here under Friday. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the home page. And we're going to go down to This Week in Science. And then I want you to go down and we're going to find under Friday where it says Engineering Digital Notebook, and you're going to click there. And you're going to notice that when it opens up, it is super tiny. And that is okay, because what we're going to do is we are going to click on these words right here that says engineering design. It's the blue title. Okay. And when you click on that, it will send you to a copy of the notebook that is your very own. Now, a few of you have asked me, can I just take my notes in a spiral that I put the name science on it? Yes, as long as your spiral has the name on it that says science, so that only science stuff goes in that spiral. You may absolutely take your notes in a spiral instead of on this digital notebook. If you do though, make sure that you put a little note here on that front page that says that you, maybe instead of your name, you can just say spiral, so that I know that you are doing a spiral notebook. Okay? All right. Then let's go ahead and take our notes for today. All right, this first page is yours to decorate. Go ahead and type your name in here, and then you can add stickers here, or you can add your own stickers that you make or that you find in Google Images, and just add those two to make it pretty. And we're gonna go ahead and move on to page 2. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use in the toolbar, there's this little magnifying glass. I'm gonna push the little caret down, and I'm gonna go and click on 100%. because it's going to make it bigger for me to be able to see. And then I'm going to make sure that I have my little arrow button working so that I can be able to click on things within my notes. All right. So our question of the day is, what is engineering design? Another way to say that is, what is engineering? And in class, we decided that it was a process to make a solution to a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and use the example of my coffee mug. I love coffee and hot tea, hot coffee and hot tea. And I like it to stay hot for quite a while because I drink it over a long period of time. I don't guzzle it, I just sip it. And a problem that I often have is that most of my coffee mugs don't keep my coffee or my tea hot. So the problem would be keeping a beverage hot. The solution that I would try to build would be a cup that keeps it warm, right? And we might have some parameters that we put in there. It needs to be a certain size. I like this shape because it fits in my mug holder in my car, and I like the way it holds in my hand. I like that it holds enough coffee, right? So I would have to say that I would want to make sure that it can hold at least 12 ounces of coffee, and that it fits in my cup holder, and that it isn't too expensive. And then I'm going to go ahead and start the process of making a new coffee mug that will keep my coffee warm. All right, process. All process means is that there are step-by-step process. There's a step-by-step process for doing, for coming up with the solution. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about step one. So step one is what we call defining the problem, or define the problem. And basically all that is what I just did. What is the problem? My coffee needs to stay hot and it doesn't. What do I need to build? I need to build a coffee mug that is the right size and the right shape, and it can't cost too much. There, got my information. All right, so now that I know what the problem is and what I need to build, I need to go into the brainstorming stage, which we will call designing a solution, or design a solution. And because I want to remember what that means, that is sort of the brainstorm. Okay. All right, so I'm going to think about all the ways I could do this. I might do some research, get some background ideas. I might draw up a couple sketches of what I want to try. I might write out what are the materials I want to use. With our birds' nests, you did some research on the types of nests that birds make, and then you may have watched a couple videos on how people make nests, and eventually you came up with an idea of how you wanted to build it, right? All right, once you have designed the solution, you have a brainstorm, you know what you want to do, we're going to actually build it, right? Because we now know what we want to build, but we haven't done it. So we're going to build it. And once we build it, we need to know whether that design works or not. So we're going to test it. So I'm going to build a new mug, and I'm going to put hot coffee in it, and I'm going to let it sit all day and see how long it stays warm. Or I'm going to build the bird's nest, and I'm going to put the egg in it, and then I'm going to see how long, whether it lasts the night and whether it keeps my egg safe. Once I've tested it, I'm going to evaluate it. And evaluate is just a fancy word for did it work or not. I'm going to look at it and say, yes, it did work. It kept my coffee warm. No, the nest didn't work. The egg fell out and it broke. Okay, well, if it works, great. We can move on to step 4, and we'll talk about that in a minute. If it doesn't work, that's okay too, because then we can go back and say what did work and change that original design so that it hopefully will work. So let's say that my coffee mug did not keep my coffee warm. And I would look at its design and I would say, well, there's nothing, it's just one thin layer of metal. Maybe the heat is just escaping it that way. So I'm going to modify the design in some way. I'm going to change it. Modify means to change. So I might decide that in my next design of a coffee mug, I might make it so that it has 2 layers of metal with a layer of air in between to help keep the heat in. So that would be my change. So then I'd make a new coffee mug with that little change, and then I would go and I would build it again and then test it to see if it works. And yes, this time it kept my coffee hot from 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd say that was pretty darn good. All right, I'm going to be able to move on to step 4. Now, before we go any further, I want you to know what this whole step of building, testing, evaluating, changing it again, rebuilding, and doing that over and over again until you get a good design. This is what we're going to call optimize the solution. And I like to think of this, optimize just means to make it the best. Change it until it is the best version that you can come up with. And I always like to think of this in terms of Transformers. One of the lead characters in Transformers is Optimus Prime. He is the best Transformer robot that there is. He has been redesigned until he became the best. He is the most honorable. He has the best gadgets. He is the strongest. He is everything that you want. He has been optimized. That's why his name is Optimus Prime. Okay, we have an optimized design. It is the best that it can be. Now we're going to go on to step 4. We have a design that works. What do we want to do next? Well, we want to share it. We want to share it, right? Because if we don't tell people, hey, I've got a coffee mug that keeps your coffee warm for 6 hours, no one's going to buy it. If somebody wants to build a bird nest and they're having a hard time building it, they're going to want to know that somebody else knows how to build a bird's nest and maybe use their ideas, right? So we're going to finish with our final step, which is communicating the results. So we're going to communicate the results. So we're going to tell people, hey, we have a design that works. It takes care of this problem. Here's the reason why. My coffee mug, this coffee mug, you should buy it. It keeps the coffee warm for 6 hours because it has a layer of air in between two layers of metal, and that air helps keep the heat in, right? So you're going to do something to explain why your design works and also be able to advertise it so that other people might want to make it or buy it as well. All right. And guess what? That is all there is to the engineering process. And what I'd like you to do now is if you have not, if you finish these notes, go ahead and keep a hold of them by, you don't have to save it, just it saves to your own disk. And then you can go back and decorate your front cover. And if you have not finished the formative and built your nest from that was due yesterday, please make sure that you do that this weekend and turn it in by Sunday. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.